director.
Hey, everybody. We're going to wait for some folks to come in, but I just want to welcome everybody aboard here. GoDonnie.com, Guilford's in here, Kalen, Michael 58, Tibor. How you guys doing? Kalen, I already said you, I guess.
Oh, what's just going on here? Oh, it's trying to start up. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, somebody spying on me. I've never used a camera on my tablet, but it came on for a quick second. Yeah, somebody spying on me. I've never used.
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Everybody having a great evening, I hope.
Yeah.
Gil's just sitting here talking about a guy that he's been watching for lots of years. That's 100 and some years old.
Yeah.
Not a big actor, just a guy that's always around.
And he did a lot of producing, directing, actor. He's been on stage, radio. He was, radio voice. Guy was born back, and I just lost it here. Reopen, close tab. There it is. His name's Norman Lloyd, and he started back in 1923 on not 1928 is when he started his career at 14 years of age.
What's the point? What kind of pointy thing you get, Taylor? You've been looking at me through my camera. Is that you?
The pointy thing. Well, it all depends if that pointy thing
is taken a lot of different ways.
Yeah. It also depends if it's a pointy thing like this that puts out a little red dot. Oh, one of Jerry knives, that type of pointy thing. Ah, there it is.
Oh. Well, you definitely got a nice pointy thing then.
Yeah. Oh.
Everybody have a great Friday, I hope. Or today, Monday, excuse me. I lost track of days. Hope everybody had a great Monday.
Yeah, it was raining off and on me. I'd go out, work on the tractor for about 30 minutes, and it would start pouring. Come in, play with the grandkids, go back out, work on the tractor for about 20 minutes, start pouring on me.
We had a pretty good day. It was like 70 or 80 degrees, but yesterday we had a heck of a windstorm.
Oh, yeah. Everybody had a windstorm yesterday.
Knocked our power out for about, 3 hours.
And Butch over at Sand Hollow Homestead there on the west side of Idaho, they were having a heck of a storm the last 2 days, windstorm blowing through there. We've been having the wind blowing here for the last 2 days as well. I was sure the big tree across the street was going to come down.
It's supposed to blow really hard here again tomorrow. According to the weather, it's supposed to be like up to 40 or 50 mile an hour.
Let's see. Tuesday we got gusts as high as 26, 13 to 18 miles an hour winds in the afternoon. Increasing to 20 miles an hour at night. And we're going to have gusts here up to 20 in the 20s through Thursday.
I might be able to make you a shoes for it, Kalen. That'd make you a pretty good deal.
Was it Southern Blessed Homestead was saying they wish we were talking on Kathy, North Star Prep Setters channel there, and he was saying that he wished it would get down to 80 degrees at night.
Yeah. Where's he live at? Florida?
He's down in the off the Gulf there. I'm not sure if he's in I don't think he's in Florida. I think he's in the bottom of Georgia or over in Alabama or Louisiana there.
I know. I was watching the Denver weather this morning because that's like a local weather or a local station for me. And they're saying up in the mountains they're going to get 4 to 6 inches of snow tonight. So,
yeah.
But the mountains are a mile high there.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were saying we were supposed to have snow last night, this morning, last Thursday when my wife flew in, and we were been watching it because we got a lot of plants out there in the garden, and fortunately, the temperature every day the temperature came up a degree as we got closer.
Oh man!
So fortunately, we missed it having any snow or frost last night. However, tonight we have a frost advisory, even though the temperatures dropped for tonight. It's supposed to get down to 34 degrees. So yeah, we're going to have some frozen plants out there tonight.
Oh man, you need to get you some canvas tarps and then be able to cover them up. The canvas would keep them from freezing.
Yeah, I got some of the delicates covered up out there now with plastic sheeting up above them, so that so they won't freeze. But some of the stuff that's I got so much stuff in the ground. I got like a half acre of corn put in now, so that's gonna it's I would say probably a quarter of it's already up. The rest of it is still hasn't sprouted yet, so hopefully it'll pass over and that'll all come up good. But my lettuce, my beets, and my spinach shouldn't be bothered by the too much by the
Stand away. I've been there, Jake. How you doing? The Rockies, Tibor, yeah, that's why I was saying I get local weather from that area. It's supposed to get some snow up there in Colorado Rockies anyway.
Yeah. Let me throw this other one up here. The jet stream is looking ugly right now. I mean, it is really the way it's got a weird shape to it for tonight, and that's where we're getting our frost at. I mean, this thing, it looks really weird. Look how it dips down in here.
It looks like a frog leg.
Yeah, and you see the jet stream going up around like this, and so they're getting the warm stuff moving up in here to Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, and this thing down in here. So they've got down around the Gulf, they got high temperatures. But this thing here, this is going to get scary. So if I take this thing forward, 8 o'clock tonight. There it is tomorrow morning. It's moving across. And then we're still getting all this cold. You follow the line, we're getting all this cold coming down in around that low. And it's going to come right on across. And that right there looks like a friggin' washing machine, all jumbled up. And that's Wednesday.
Well, the Gulf is having a heck of a storm right now.
Yeah. And you just look at it coming across by Thursday. At least we have, almost direct east to west to east movement here. But come next Friday, look at another dip coming through California there, and it's dipping down. And we're getting big. We're getting big
right there. See right there in the Gulf now. See that big. They've got a really bad storm there. I was looking at it earlier.
Yeah. And this is next Monday, and it's going to be coming right. It's just getting ugly there. Just But
the storm in the Gulf is supposed to be coming up into Mississippi and Georgia.
Yeah. Next Wednesday, Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina. Look at that right up there.
Hey, Lori.
They're going to get
Oh,
be
hell.
hit hard with a storm there. Yeah, that's what this thing looks like. I'm going to put it just on regular play here as it goes through for the next 2 weeks. Boom. Yeah, here it goes again. This is not normal weather.
No.
Yeah. And Uncle Al's really been studying this and a couple other sites and plotting stuff out even farther out.
He's been pretty hard to the middle on some stuff.
Yeah.
I've been talking to him. I thought he'd be in to talk about his findings.
Yeah. Yeah, storm's moving. That storm's going down in the Gulf there. It's doing all sorts of weird stuff, up, down, around, splitting, turning around, and coming back again. That's going to be ugly.
Should be getting kind of rainy where you're at too, Kalen. Say hi, Gil, to Lori.
Hey, Lori. Well, I'm surprised because this morning she was using her other nom de fleur this morning over there on.
She was sneaking around.
Yeah, it was Prairie. Geez, I'm sorry, Lori. Just spaced here, having a brain fart. But that on Steve's channel this morning. Of course, they're a chainer. I noticed there that Tibor
Prairie
said
Rider.
Yeah, that it. I noticed back there Tibor was saying that all right, they got currently 78 there, but he was talking about where was it here?
It was 87 here today.
Now 50 we get out the flashlight. So they're expecting some winds there in Ohio there.
Well, it says we got 8 people in here. What are you guys thinking about what I said on the topic? How many people think that you could take the homesteads and make them like a community center when SHTF occurs? I've been doing some research on it to see how many people, what everybody thinks.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got 11 watching now. And 11 thumbs up. Oh, you're batting,
scary.
You're batting 1,000.
That is scary.
Hey, Howie.
There he is. Now we got us a live stream. Hey, Howie. What do you think, Gil? You think you could make a community co-op if we had SHTF?
Well,
so you had your homesteads out out spread out all over, and maybe get them to all come together as a co-op. Just to keep the food and the water and everything all together.
We've sort of done that already here with a CAG, community assistance group. The whole the city here where I'm at, it has around 400 people here, and everybody just about everybody has a garden. And those that do know how to garden are helping them put gardens in. We just had a new neighbor move in there, and they're trying to get their place cleaned up, and they're going to be borrowing some of my equipment to put their garden in. And the other neighbor, kitty corner from them and across the street from me, has offered to take his tractor with his monster rototiller over there and Rototill patch for them as well. So,
So
and
how many residents do you think that is?
well,
400?
well, we have 400 residents in the city here, and then surrounding the city on two sides, where it's not incorporated yet, is probably another 100. And it's an a tight knit community here. In fact, just outside, across the street from the city line, is the Christensen's, and they have a huge greenhouse, a commercial greenhouse they bought from where a nursery was going out of business years ago, and they bought the greenhouse, and so they took it down, moved it here, put it up. And during the wintertime, they let everybody in the town, if they want to put something in their greenhouse during the wintertime, they can do it, and they don't charge them for it.
So what if you think we all become like uh, just a if it happened, it was say like an EMP or some other people came over to try to take us over, try to. I got the word in my head, but I can't think of it. But you think that they could be solid enough to not let them try to take it back away from you guys?
Oh, definitely here, because everybody here where we're at, of course, this is Idaho, where everybody is just about required to have a gun.
If you don't, you're kicked out.
If you don't, you're looked at weird by everybody and shunned. But yeah, and it's a Second Amendment state, which means there's no requirement for permits or anything for concealed carry or open carry. And yeah, so I mean, it's a a good type state that'll stand on its own, unlike California or New York.
You're fortunate enough to have live in an area and a state both.
Mm-hmm.
That's a plus where everybody kind of hangs together. But if you were to get into like an area, California, maybe perhaps, but I was thinking of something maybe like Arizona might not be like that. Arizona is a tough state, but I don't think that they would be able to pull their communities together to form an alliance like that. I don't think every state would be able to do that. Let's put it that way.
Every state, no. Arizona, there are a lot of areas that would. Once you get out of the main metropolitan hub, which is Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa, Glendale. Once you're out of that area, all of a sudden it's a bunch of small communities. And yeah, you get the Flagstaff. Flagstaff is pretty good size, but Flagstaff is also it's still small enough where, and a lot of people there hunt. There's a lot of good hunting in Arizona there. And so, there's a lot of towns. There's Sedona, Fredonia, Kaibab. They're all small communities.
I think the communities that are the closer you get to the homesteads that are just outside the urban living, those will probably have issues according to the articles and everything that I read, because they're wanting to be free, but they're still locked on to that city lifestyle.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like where my other house is in California, the neighborhood where I'm at, we're right on the border. We look across the street and we see about 20 properties that are at least 5 acres each.
Hi, old man.
Behind us, the lots are quarter acre or less, or townhouses. And so, there are some areas around there and around that would pull together and have many camps, if you want to call it that, of neighbors joining together. Some areas they because of the topography there, I know some of the people are planning on blocking off the streets for disasters because basically it's you have one street going up, then you have about 6 other little streets coming off it. All of them are dead end, and there's the one thing that's really big there is the community emergency response team, the CERT program. Because I spent 10 years getting that thing up and running, and I got those guys so excited about it, and they ran with it, and it's like huge. And they've got the city broken up into 15 districts, and a lot of them are planning. They plan for stuff like this. They're all starting to put gardens in and stuff, and so even that close, they're big Amtrak station there in Martinez. It's the county seat. You got a couple BART stations, which is the Bay Area Rapid Transit System, that is only 7 miles away at the most, 5 miles away. And big cities like Concord and Walnut Creek. But for Martinez, because it's on one side, the west side, the north side of it is the Delta. Big waterway. And they got, the Briones not national, East Bay Regional Park District is Briones, has a big park there on the one side. And then they have a lot of farmland heading west till they get over to Hercules. And it's an anomaly, but something like that, if it formed up and started forming groups, and some of the other towns will. But once you get past Walnut Creek and you get over the hill into Oakland, all bets are off.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the mountains, but there's one place in Montana was talking about the community they did, that their community was, most of the homesteaders were scattered along this prairie, but the backdrop of it was this mountain. I wish I could remember the name of it. I can't remember it. But they used the backdrop of the mountains where they could take all their livestock and put it up in the mountains where nobody would know that they had any,
Yeah.
They said that would be their cache, so that everybody thought they were just living off of gardens and stuff,
Yeah. There's between Idaho and Montana, you have the Tetons, the Grand Tetons, and they're that's where everybody around here goes hunting, because I can look out the east window and I see the mountains, the Grand Tetons. Hey, Ryan's in the house.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Junkyard's here. Who else?
Let's see a quick recap here since we've been sitting here talking. Howie's in the house, old man. Let me get back up here a ways.
Yeah.
Hey, Prairie Rider, all hail the Queen
of the North.
Howie's in here. Tibor, my brother. Jacobs. Junkyard. Probably said that too many times. Old man, how you doing? Hey, old man, I'm putting a package together for you. See, Howie. I think I got everybody. I didn't call your name out. Hi, anyway.
Yeah, I just noticed Kaylin put out there, Iowa still has a requirement to get a permit to acquire for pistols.
She's close. She's really close to Minnesota.
Yeah.
I believe they'll have a carry law in Minnesota pretty soon.
Yeah. Just catching up on some of the side chat here. Everyone's talking about is where they're back east, where they're getting a little chilly there with that storm and stuff. Talking about, or up north in Canada, talking about having a fire and having fire sounds better tonight. night fires, stick with
this
the old
thing.
music.
What do you think of this?
Yeah, how thick is it though?
About quarter inch.
Yeah.
It's sharper than pickered billy goat though.
Night fires and Jack Daniels. uh, Tibor says more Royal Crown or makers, but Jack ain't no stranger. I like it. Lord, the Queen's evil sister, Prairie Rider. That's that's right, Rory. Everybody needs to hydrate.
For sure. Everybody's keeping hydrated, right?
Yeah.
Even with that good old red swine going around, you still need to be hydrated.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I picked up a
Swords as tall as you are.
yeah. Oh, give me. Yeah, I had to bend down and pick something up. Yeah, ordered myself 5 pounds of seed of sorghum.
Sorghum? You're gonna be making some moonshine?
No, sorghum. It kind of grows like corn does a little bit, but
Use that in moonshine.
yeah, because it's got a lot of sugar, and sort of like a cross between corn stalk and sugar cane. But the seeds you can make cereal out of and stuff like that. But the goats and the cows love the stalks.
Lori says you can make gum with it.
I haven't heard that, but I haven't chewed gum in a long time.
Moonshine good for extracts. Yeah. Moonshine's good for a lot of stuff. It'll make you quit hurting.
Yeah. And if you do it right, you have a good alcohol stove from it.
Yeah. Might not remember though. Very versatile. Yep.
Yeah. But as far as communities coming together, I would say your homesteads have a better chance of coming together and holding together. In your cities, your deep urban areas downtown, in the older city areas. If you're talking like an EMP or some other major disaster that's going to cause an SHTF or TWACI event, it's going to be bad after a couple of years.
Yeah.
The first year and a half, they might do okay.
There's gonna be
if you're out in the bedroom community areas where of the cities, like out where Steve Corsair Trainers lives, that type area, they have a chance of pulling together, but they're going to have to pull together hard and rely on guys like Steve to organize them so they have security, so they can secure their neighborhoods and keep their gardens and everything going and save what they grow from being stolen.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. That people don't realize that when you have an event like that, or SHTF event, you got all these communities laying out there. If they're not pulling together, they're going to realize there's not going to be any law enforcement out there for them to depend on. It's simply going to be just themselves, And then there's going to be a lot of people coming in and telling you they're law enforcement, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're just going to pretend to be so that they can take what they want and leave you just sitting there high and dry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then Lori points out a good point there. I live in a city of 12,000 people, and over 75% are elderly. Her biggest fear is taking care of the elderly. And also, then her next one there too. So much lost information if we don't work together. And that's the thing is, when you have a grid down situation or a major disaster, it's going to be guys like that, and like like I was talking about beforehand. That forgot his name now.
There'll be gangs and raiders coming by. It'll be like a big packs. I guess gangs, packs is my word for it. A lot of them coming for whatever you got.
Yeah.
So if you got those guys, you better be prepared to be able to take care of yourself. You'll need to be able to defend yourself and whatever you have. So these are all good reasons to make sure that you make a community out of everybody in your area. You're already, if you're living out in middle of nowhere on your homestead, you're probably already friends with most of the other people out there. So it's better just to make a pact to hang out together.
Yep. Yeah. But you're like the elderly is, if we were to have something like that hit now, the most elderly are the ones you're going to want to hit up to for information. Those that remember, back in the the 30s and the 40s and stuff, and the things they did that were going on during the Depression era, and then into World War II, as far as the things that were done for getting by when they were on rationing for rubber, gasoline, alcohol, when everything was rationed.
What they did to get that stuff, they could help you figure everything out.
Yeah, what they get, how they jury rigged it, stuff. I mean, like a lot of farmers did made gasifiers to run their tractors, and I've actually seen a company, and they build a gasifier and have it hooked up to a 5, an 8, and a 10,000 watt generator. So you can run a generator on wood chips.
Oh yeah, I remember that gas fire you were showing us the other night.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of technologies out there, and there's just a lot of stuff on the web that we can download now. But when it comes time to do it, you're gonna need a one of our forefathers there to tell us, all right, this is how it works. The book says this, but this is how it really works.
And I've heard a lot of guys say, well, I'll just get on the internet and I'll look it up. Well, there probably won't be any internet, They're going to get rid of that first thing whenever we have an event where somebody's trying to overrun our country,
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to keep us from being able to communicate or figure out how to do something.
Yeah, the thing is, so if you're planning on downloading something, do it now. Burn it to DVD. The terabyte external drives. Where's one here? I got one sitting right here somewhere.
Yeah, I have one of those terabyte things. It's a square about this big.
Yeah, I've got it back here, buried back. There it is. I got to reach back here.
Anything I want to keep that I don't want to lose off my phone or my laptops, I just store on that thing.
Yeah, I back up all my videos to these here. So
they don't cost that much.
Yeah, it's $59 on Amazon for a 2 terabyte Toshiba drive, and if you want, I have another one that I have all sorts of documents backed up. I got about like
try to figure out if you had a lot of stuff that you've been saving because you want to remember how to do it or be able to do it another time. If you lost everything, got wiped out, or you couldn't get on the internet to figure it out again,
Mhm.
Just figure out that times whatever 2 terabytes is like 50, $60. And you could just plug it into anything, even if there was no internet service, you could still plug it in and get the information off of it.
If you have a good smartphone, you can plug it into a smartphone, and if you have the right software on your smartphone, you can pull up PDFs and the Word docs.
Yeah.
But the
Don't need any service.
yeah, and information on I don't know, I have how many documents I've downloaded from different universities from their extension programs on gardening, trees, grafting trees, which trees grow where, what plants grow where, what are the planting seasons, all that type stuff. And then all equipment stuff, how to build a gasifier, how to build a hydro generator, how to build a wind turbine generator. Tons and tons of
Yeah,
books.
Lori, I'm sure Reed has like 600 terabytes.
Oh, yeah, I have no doubt what he has hidden.
He
But
better hide his location because everybody would be storming him.
yeah, they gotta find him first. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of communities need to start thinking now. And the problem is, in this modern age, everybody is more friendly on Facebook and knows more people on Facebook than they know on their street, in one block on their street. It's like, yeah, there's just there's such a lack of communications in the cities and the urban areas with the neighbors. Hidden Valley Homestead put out a video yesterday, day before, about he's getting ready to sell his property there in Southern California. And the one neighbor on the one side, he really hadn't got to know that well, and they had to replace the fence together. And basically he was spending time getting to know the guy as they were replacing the fence. And on his video, he goes, "I wish I got to know this guy years ago." But everybody gets too busy and too focused on their their stuff, that they don't get to know those around them. And when the poop hits the fan, who are the first ones they're going to need to rely on? Those
Each
around
other.
them, those immediately around them. Then you just need to start
And make sure that they're totally on board with it,
Yeah.
I had so many people tell me when I was thinking about doing this subject that it just wouldn't work, that everybody would not be able to get along long enough to form a community alliance.
Mm-hmm.
But they're dead if they don't,
Yeah. It depends on how fast the disaster hits, the type of disaster, and how long it's going to last. Whether or not they'll be able to pull, communities will be able to pull together and start they start the homesteading mindset and get it going to protect themselves and to get everything going for them to survive. And then there's also a difference. There's surviving, and then there's thriving.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to. Is in order for you to be able to survive, you'll have to thrive. I mean, just to get by, you won't have enough food for very long. So you have to have the mindset of thriving.
I like Laura's comment there. I will just pick up CR and drive to Howie.
Howie better make that bunker a little bit bigger.
Yes, and like Kaylin says, it also depends on what else is going on when the disaster hits. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like look at all the crap that's going on that we're going through right now. What is it? Three things that we got going on now.
yeah,
What if one more thing got piled on there, like an EMP or some sort of invasion?
yeah.
Just keep piling them on.
Yeah, yeah. An EMP or I don't think invasion really isn't going to happen because the world pretty much is smart enough to realize what the Japanese realized before World War II. If they invaded the U.S., they'd be fighting 1,000 guns behind every bush.
Yeah.
So, but the radical extremists of whatever type of ideology. We could have them trying to take down the power grid, try to take down the water systems. Those. That's where the problems could be.
Well, that's what I meant by invasion. It'll probably be from some sort of faction that's inside the United States right now.
Yeah.
The idiots.
Yeah. And they're not really, all they're interested in is bringing everything down, and they're not interested in taking over. They're just interested
they
in
just don't
causing
want
damage.
it to work. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. There'd be no way that one of the other countries would try to overrun us because all we'll do is turn around and get all the other countries to help us kill them.
Yeah.
That's already been a proven fact in how many wars now.
Yeah.
We get in a fight and the other ones, they just see how many countries they can get on each other's side. Just it turns into a bloodbath.
Yeah. But yeah, the possibilities. I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard to actually say how things are going to, even to plan for things going up, because it's like rolling the dice. You don't know what it's going to wind up on, or trying to count into a 7 deck stack at a poker table. You can't get, you can guess and plan and all, but all it takes is something to happen. Your plans are down.
Yep, that's right, Tibor. That's any gun that you purchase over the counter. Yep, they know who's got it, where it went.
Yeah.
Of course, there are a lot of people that buy them and then get rid of them without any paperwork knowing where they go. Like I bought a gun that's going to go to my son. They'll never know he's got it. That'll be a free and clear gun. Yeah. I'll kick off, and then they won't know where it's at.
Yeah, it's like some of the guns my dad had. There was never ever any paperwork filed on it because when he got them, it wasn't any requirement for that. And so I inherited some. My brother inherited some. And then
that's what happened to my dad's guns. I got all of them because my sister and my brother weren't gun people, so I just took them all.
Yeah. And when my brother passed away, his all of his guns got divided up amongst his sons.
There's a lot of unregistered guns out there.
Yeah.
That's why I don't see what they're going after. They would never get them all.
Yeah.
Then who would they blame? Blame me. I'm on the other way out. I don't care.
Tibor gives a piece of advice there. Don't check the gifting line on your form. So if you're going to be giving it to somebody, don't check it. And then if the balloon goes up and everything else, and it's going to be a slow roll, then you report it stolen.
Well, me and Anthony were talking. I told him, I said, they come from mine. I'm going to tell them that I've got to go get my scuba diving license because mine went overboard in my boat.
Yeah.
I've got to go get them out of the lake. You know how to swim?
Yeah. Oh, Dave was talking about how when he had a boating accident, he lost several weapons on his boat.
Yeah, T-Boy, they asked me if I was buying it for myself or buying it as a gift. Yep.
Yeah. But some communities will find it easy to do it. In fact, some communities are already doing it. Some other communities will find it easy to move into it. Others will find it a little bit more difficult. There'll be some communities that will not be able to do it at all. There's so much distrust and hate, and
making you hungry. These are good, Lloyd. Let me show you. And chocolate inside, and then chocolate outside too. Donuts, Corey. Love you, sweetie.
Yeah. So, but what's really interesting is what
is that BB gun you bought, Kaylin? You can shoot it with BBs or pellets, right?
It depends on the size of it.
I hear you. I've lost 25 pounds myself. This is like a splurge for me. I gave myself one donut. You need a Red Ryder? Yeah. Just like in the movie, yeah. You're gonna shoot your eye out.
Yeah, well, if you're going to get an air rifle, you might as well get one of those new high-powered ones that you can actually hunt with.
You can pump it up.
Yeah,
or you got one of them CO2.
CO2 is I've had CO2 air rifles and pistols. I never use them anymore. I'd rather have the ones you pump.
I like the pump up ones,
guns, or ones I want to get is the ones that has the air tank on it that you have a special pump. You pump it up to 3,000 pounds psi, and you can hunt with it. And they come in calibers up to 45 caliber.
Is that those ones with the big old barrel on them?
It's the one there's several of them out there, but Air Force is the name of the one company that does their Texan comes from 223
I haven't tried it yet, old man.
They're 30 caliber, 357 or 45, and the 357 it puts it out at over 2,000 feet per second. That's hunting speed for a 357.
How much?
2,000 feet per second.
2,000. Oh man,
yeah,
that'd be like shooting a regular bullet.
Yep.
Is that one of the ones you pump up, or one of the ones with the canister?
It has the canister on, but you can get a regular bicycle pump for it, but it's a 3-stage bicycle pump type thing, so it can pump up to 3,000 pounds of pressure into that tank that's on the rifle.
Holy cow!
Oh,
you gotta have a special license for that, huh?
No license required. It's not a firearm. Oh, junkyard. That's not good.
AR-15. He should have bought that.
He was trying to sell it.
Yeah, he should have bought it for $400.
Yeah.
That's a good price. Mine, before I put all the fancy stuff on it, was 1,400.
Yeah.
Whoops. Got to tell you, my gun's at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah. The lost my train of thought here for a second. Oh, what I found something strange that's going on, and interesting, strange, and also irritating at the same time, is with what's going on out and about, and the problems with the number of people getting sick and not being able to deliver food, and others going out and buying everything up that they don't need, and the shortages going on, is the number of people that have never gardened before that are trying to put gardens in. And I give them credit for trying, but hey, these guys need to be reading about it beforehand, watching good videos, showing how to do stuff, and that's basically, they should have been doing it all along before. Everyone should have been doing some sort of garden in their home if they could. I know, like David, Southern Ohio, prepping Kent because he has no good window space facing south. Everything's facing north, so he gets no good light. And being in public housing, there's only so much he can do.
I haven't seen him. What's he doing?
What's he doing right now?
Yeah.
He's working on getting his son's channel up and going.
How come he's not on here doing live streams with us?
He's kind of dropped off for live streams for a while, other than when he does his son's the Hot Wheels racing that his son has on. Was it Charles 64 Fun or whatever it is. And so he's been working with his son and the neighbor kids, getting that up and running, for the Hot Wheels racing stuff.
Yeah.
And he was just getting tired of the negative comments he was getting when he was trying to put out information to help people. And there are a lot of idiots out there that
Well, there's always going to be idiots.
Yeah, but there's a lot of vocal idiots that are spouting stuff they don't know about, and then firing off, saying stuff about what the warnings and stuff and information he was giving out, and saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a doctor and stuff." And whenever it came back around that everything he said was coming to pass, they still lucky guess. You're just nobody. He just got tired of it.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta have heavy shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm too bad. Tell him I say hi if you see him.
Oh, Lori's bowing out. All right. Take care, Lori.
Where are you going, Lori? That's not fair. I'll share my donut with you. You have a good night, Lori.
But as far as community homesteading, you look at what Howie's doing up there when they got the soil bank up there. They got communities coming together up there. I think they might like Howie's area out there on the island is probably has a better chance of coming together as a yeah, right, Lori. Fire.
There it is.
And there are some areas, depending, it goes into the mindset of everybody in the community already. if everybody's on the hustle and bustle and big city working and stuff, and they're focusing on work, and I'm going to go out and party.
Yeah, I was gonna say before I started talking to Lori is if you're a homesteader and you're just getting started, and you live in an area where there's a lot of homesteads, don't be afraid to go out and talk to your neighbors and see if they won't help you because 90% of the times those guys will help you, and if they can't help you, they'll know somebody that can help you.
Yeah,
And then slowly over time, you will be up and running. But if something were to happen and you're just sitting there hoping that somebody's going to uh, put some magic dust on you and you're going to be able to do the same things that your neighbor's doing, that's never going to happen. But if you go out and you start knocking on doors or ride the tractor down the road and start waving at people and stopping and talking to them and stuff like that, things are going to happen for you. But it's not going to happen if you just stand there looking at the sun. It's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen unless you get out there and do some hard work.
yeah,
So just get out there and do the work, and everything else will come to you.
yeah. I like Howie's last comment there about up there on the island up there. Yeah, they got a lot of eco villages on the islands, and they everyone kind of looks after themselves.
There you
And
go.
I
Yep.
bet a lot of them will look after each other too if a big disaster happens.
That's what I was saying. They probably don't need anybody to take after. They just take care of themselves and sit there and smile at each other, Howie.
Yeah. Yeah, community homesteading on the most part states that all right, in New York State, it might work in New York State once you get more than 100 miles or more than 50 miles away from New York City, because actually New York does have a lot of country in it and small towns and stuff up there.
After you get outside the city, yeah, there's lots of little towns and stuff.
And even like in Pennsylvania, I haven't been in Eastern Pennsylvania, but I've been around Western Pennsylvania a lot, around Pittsburgh and stuff. Once you start getting out far, 20 minutes out of the city, they got a lot of small town. Mount Pleasant and stuff was a real small town, and a lot of people, community people out there. You got a lot of these community churches and stuff that out away from the cities that really bring the community together.
Out in the
And
country, yep.
and the in certain areas, those community churches work together with other community churches to whenever there's like a flood or a bad winter storm, to help everybody out. And they just, they pull together and, get things going. So for your community homesteading in certain areas, it's probably going to be the churches that push it and bring it together.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys right here on YouTube that live outside the city, New York, up north of New York, or uh, kind of southeast of Philly and stuff. They live out in the country, and it all works out for them too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when the big one hits, they're going to be overrun with all those city folks.
Okay. Howie's comment down there. Yeah.
I was just reading it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
$1 billion
I
from
think
the
it's I think it was the Red Cross. The chairman of the Red Cross makes ridiculous amount of money, and it's like, yeah. And there's several quote volunteer charities and stuff, and I'm not going to name any names. I might name the wrong one. But there's some of them which they have people out, gathering, money all the time and stuff. The volunteers don't get paid. The ones up a little bit up that start, that gather from the volunteers and stuff and start get paid a little bit. And I mean minimum wage, if that. but when then all of a sudden you step up to the person on top, the chairman of the board over it, and he's pulling down 7 figures. That's just not right.
Even the manager at the top that is making sure everything's going the right direction, he's pretty well set up too.
Yeah. Let's check something out here real quick. I didn't think about this beforehand. All right. The current president and chief executive officer of the Red Cross, Gail McGovern. And so I'm going to see what her net worth is. Oh, salary. See what her salary is. Okay. She in 2018, she was paid almost $700,000 for running the Red Cross, with hundreds of volunteers under her getting, they're just volunteers.
Hey, why don't you come up and talk to us about it, Howie? We're going to be here for another half hour.
Oh, holy mac. Okay, here we go. The 10 highest paid CEOs at non-profits in 2020. Peter S. Fine, President and CEO of Banner Health. Let me just pull this up, see if it'll give me the full list here and there. What if it'll give me the tops, what they make. Yes, it does. Okay. Peter Fine, President and CEO of Banner Health, a nonprofit, made $21.6 million, and an additional $4 million in additional other pay, and it's in quotes, other pay. J. Knox Singleton,
there he is,
CEO and president of Emenco Inc. $13 million. It goes on down. I'm just, I'm looking at it here. So the top 10, everyone in the top 10 makes, of these nonprofits, makes over $10 million.
Is that a week or a year?
That's a year. This is their yearly salary. And then they all have other pay. Only the bottom one, their other pay is, well, there's another one up there fire, but most of them, their other pay is over $1 million in other pay.
Other pay.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, Howie.
This is something that I'm very passionate about, and I study, and I know
a lot about.
Tell us. Well, I can only speak for my city here, which is representative of most cities. It's all the same. But the University of Victoria, the professors and their students was to get together last year, and they did a study. They did a white paper. And it came back that $1 billion a year in cash, we're just talking cash here, comes to a couple, 3 foundations to give it out to all the rest of the charities. You're getting food given to people at the food bank that's destined for a landfill. No food's bought with that. None. Zero. The board members eat up all the cash. It never gets to the poor. We got 1,500 homeless. We got kids knocking on the door wanting band equipment, sports equipment. Where's the $1 billion given? Where does it go? So the University of Victoria, the professors there and their students followed it all. Very little, if any, get to the poor or what it's designed for. They don't see it. We don't see it. And it's 2 or 3 foundations. I can't, I don't want to get into, how many foundations are here? 2 or 3. So the board members, one in particular, a good friend of mine wrote the prime minister, the premier, the mayors, wrote everybody, you go up in the chain of command. You start low and you go up high. And asking why at the muscular dystrophy, or, I'm just going to pick on one, why there's no money for people with MS. What do you mean there's no money for people with MS? Well, the board members gets $480,000 each one. One gets $250,000. They only show up 4 times a year, but then there's no money left for the people that actually need a new van or fuel cost or someone to help them go shopping. You see, it's all not. And the volunteer
all that money is donated too, right?
It is 100% donated by the federal government, the provincial government, the municipal government, which is equal to county, right? And the poor never see a dime. They never see a dime. It's so pathetic here that they put this little tiny little blip in the local newspaper about the billion missing dollars every year. That's 80 million a month, 20 million a week, a little tiny piece. And then that was it. And it was talked about at the University of Victoria for weeks and months afterwards, how this little tiny blip, and it just goes to show how controlled this community where I live is controlled. Because if it wasn't controlled, then it would be freedom of the press. But people wrote in about it. Their letters were never published. And the people that got that money, that $1 billion every year, that's been going on for years. And they own huge, vast real estate here. Vast real estate. And the 1,500 poor are just downtrodden. And I noticed a comment there about the Salvation Army. What a pile of baloney they are. 28 million bucks go to the Bahamas every year, given by the provincial government.
I think I read something about that.
Yeah, and don't you know what? I was a soldier one time, a long time ago, and I seen some stuff that would just make you sick. And to see the rich get rich and the poor get poor is because of charity. Charities don't get the money because, simple fact, the board members use it all up. Mm-hmm. And you can go and quote the University of Victoria, Google it, and it'll come up. Their white paper's all there to look at. And I did another study. I participated in sort of a study. I was indirect in it. But you have to remember there's about 9 billion people in the world, right? So how many of those 9 billion make $2 a day? 4.8 billion, okay? They make $2 a day. So the people that are left over, another 4.5 billion, they got the money, little bit. So what happens is 1 or 2 million people migrate to the United States every year. And that's people that have a little bit of money, a little bit of training and talent, and, they've got a journeyman ticket or whatever, it's going to be able to help out with the economy. And I'm just saying United States. I'm not talking about Canada, and it's no different in Canada. But out of that 1.5 million people that migrate, those migrants, that leaves no talent where they came from. Now, 80 million are born into that 9 billion every year. So that 1.5 million that goes to the States is a drop in the bucket. Yeah. You see? Now, this is the problem. It's called a brain drain. Okay? So the brain drain comes every year. The 1.5 million come to the United States. I'm just saying United States. I'm not trying to pick on Yankees because I love them. I'm just saying the facts, right? Yeah. For that country. So the 4.2 billion to 4.6 billion that make that $2 a day, okay, and they live on that, okay, but for real, will never go away because there's 80 million new ones every year. Yeah. But only 1.5 million get out of it. But the thing is, the 1.5 million that get out of it had a little bit of money saved up, had a little bit of university. Maybe they were journeyman mechanic or whatever, right? Yeah. They'll get to come out. But the guy that's over there that doesn't know how to read and write, and that's a slave and chained to a bloody sewing machine, he gets to stay. And that's how it works in this world, folks. In the Western world, or in the world that's not, developed yet, the underdeveloped world and the developed world are the same. The developed world hides it in foundations and charities, and it's all online. You can Google it. University of Victoria was one of the first white papers to study, an actual study done by professional professors and their students to show how the money never reaches the poor. Never gets there. And what do you do about it? You write your prime minister, you vote, and there's no change. Year after year, it's the same thing. It doesn't change because they have control of the money.
Yeah. Hey,
the lobbyist gets to write up a marketing plan and present it to our bureaucrats. If you follow that lobbyist, he's right on the same board, or his wife's on the board, or their kids on the board.
You got Hooples on it now. He says, Canada only has smart refugees. We let them drive taxis knowing their children will be productive.
Hooples is quite right.
He's a good guy.
Hey,
Very good.
Howie, here's a couple points for you.
Meow.
Goodwill CEO Jim Gibbons made $729,000 last year.
Bro.
Now, here's going to Salvation Army.
You want to protest something, protest that.
Exactly. The average Salvation Army executive compensation is $235,198 a year.
Yeah.
Now, the where is it here? Okay. The most expensive executive at Salvation Army makes $700,000 annually. The lowest compensated executive makes $50,000.
And they got other jobs too. They're on a dozen boards here. I meet them all the time. They're on 10 different boards, and I ask them, how can you be on all these boards and do all this work and get all this money, but you never leave home?
Yeah.
They never leave home. And they get millions. And the poor, well, they get a needle and a drug called fentanyl and die every day.
Yeah.
You know what? If people want to protest, go and protest that.
Yeah.
Where's the equality for all earthlings under God's grace? Huh? It's not there. It simply did never exist. And it's simply a blindness that because, I don't want to rock the boat. Well, guess what? Rock the boat.
Yeah.
Jesus over the money changers in the temple for a reason. It's there for spirituality. You're not there for money. We let our poor die, freeze to death to the ground. And nobody bucks the system here because, hey, I don't want my wife lose her money on the board. And they're all like it, right? From all the money that goes to all the sports and music and art. It doesn't matter if it's the Arthritis Society. They're all milking it. They're all got $1 million homes, but there's 1,500 poor sleeping on that street day in, day out. And it's not right. And I've written my prime minister, and I get back a
It doesn't do any good how much you write to them, though.
No, you're wasting your time.
It's like that in this country too, you know.
If you want change, you have to protest with a placard on the side of the road or where they live, right by their living room window. Go, hi, buddy, this is me. Did you spend all the money? Oh yeah, that's what I
remember eating my dinner last night?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's going on. And the food they feed you at the food bank here is disgusting. It's rotten food that was supposed to go to Heartland landfill. And they don't buy, they're given money to buy food, and they don't buy food.
Hey, Howie Hoople has a question for you.
Yeah, sure. I'm a little tangenty, but go ahead. I can tell it the way it is. I don't give a rat's butt.
He goes, can Trudeau read?
No, he's stoned all the time. Look at him, man. He comes out and he starts someone asked him a question about Donald Trump. He's like,
Yeah.
that's what he did for 23 seconds. The guy's high, man. He's ripped out of his
He looks like he's loaded all the time.
Oh, he's higher than a kite, man. I liked his old man, though. His old man kicked butt. You know, you didn't mess around at all. You got in his way. He pushed you aside. Get out of my way. I'm walking this way. I mean, I don't mean to be arrogant or anything, but if you interrupt someone's travel, be prepared to get a kick in the knackers.
Yep.
You interrupt my travel, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kick you right in the knackers because I'm going that way, and you decided to move over and get in front of me.
Hey, Hooples, I remember when you got that look on your face. Remember when you experimented?
Hey, I don't got a problem with smoking doobies. If someone's doing that, that's cool. But if you're gonna go out and do a conference or whatever, see the media and talk about world leaders, you shouldn't be going. He couldn't talk. You should at least go out there straight, man, and have a word with the press. I think Hooples even put it in one of his videos. I'm pretty sure I
think he did, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, and he's probably a good guy. He was a school teacher. He taught grade 5, eh? And he's probably a good guy, but he's in the world of billionaires and you know, the Bilderbergs of the world are pulling his string. I mean, but the whole world's corrupt like that. It's the whole world's corrupt. It's payoffs, buy-offs. You know, Americans tried to go in there and help the Afghanis and the Iraqis, and I thought, geez, why? They're not gonna appreciate it. But the Americans went in there and they really tried, and the British and the Australians and the Canadians. And you know what? Kudos to them. But you know what? You're wasting your time. Just go and help yourselves. Go home and build food or build homes for homeless. But don't go over there and expect to, it's good that they all went. You know, like I'm not trying to knock the forces or anything. My family we're all in there, and some are still in there. But, it's just like beating a dead horse. And then they come home and they see poverty and people dying, drugs on the street, and they come back from a war zone. You know, I had a stepson that was in 3 tours in Afghanistan, eh? And,
he talked
much about it. He didn't
some of those people want to be homeless. You know, I understand.
Not all, man. Not
all of them, no.
Not all. Some,
not
yes.
all of them, but
they don't even know we're here.
That's what they want.
When
I used to think the same way, and I have in Washington when I lived there, they pushed all the homeless from Everett, Washington. They pushed them east towards the mountains. Yeah. Well, I lived in this little town that they pushed them to, and I would go down and I'd be fishing along the river, and that's where they would camp. I'd go down there and I would fish and I would talk to them, trying to figure out how I could help a couple of them or whatever. I was willing to help out.
We're all not.
And I got to talking to him, and the guy told me, he said, you can give me whatever you want, but he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take whatever you give me, and I'm going to stay homeless because this is what I want to do.
Yes, there's people like that. I've met people like that. Not all are like that.
A rental or whatever, or try to straighten me out. He says, that's not what I want. That means if I do that, then that means I have to conform to what everybody else is doing, and I don't want to conform. He said, this is what I want.
That's his right. That's his right. You know what? I understand him because he's looking at it. Okay, I go to school for 18 years, right? My mom and dad send me to school for 18 years. That means I got a trade, right? Yep. Okay. So then along comes a corporation or a big company and gives them a job. Hey, I love that. But guess what? Who paid mom and dad for 18 years to send you to school? Nobody. They paid. Do they get any compensation? No. So the person that sees the 40-year mortgage coming up and then they're 70 years old when it's paid off and then they die and they've worked for 40 years, they're looking at it going, I think I'm getting ripped off here.
Yeah.
People have nutrition now. And it's interesting to see that People are actually waking up. It's in permaculture, it's the quiet revolution. We all look after ourselves here. We have a great network here. We all share. I get the most beautiful gifts, and I give the most beautiful gifts. You see?
Well, some of those guys I talked to said, when I get my money, he said the money's my money. I can do
That's right.
whatever I want with it that I want. He
That's
says,
right.
I'm not paying taxes to anybody. I don't have a mortgage payment. I don't have a car payment. I don't have to pay insurance. He says, I don't even have to pay rent. He said, I can do
Fantastic.
what I want to do, you know.
Humans.
That's how I kind of understood it when he started talking
Yes.
about that. You know?
Humans are the only creature on the planet that has to pay to be here.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Sorry about the heck word. But you know, like there's enough here to feed the entire planet 50 times over. If you do the math, you take everybody in the world, divide it into the square foot of Vancouver Island, we all have about 800 square feet. Now you take all the humans in the world and put them on Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, you have 5,000 square feet. More than enough to have a house. That would let the rest of the world heal itself. But when you see people on there and they're mongering, they're going, well, the world's overpopulated. Horse hockey. What you are is you've been neuro-linguistically programmed to think that. When someone tells me something, I have to establish the truth and the untruth from it. And you know what? I kick butt in that department because I know right away because math doesn't lie. Math is correct. But I know when I see inequality that there's too much BS going on and people are not organized enough to stop it. So what's happening now? The global economy is crap. You've got a local economy now. Now, this week coming up, I'm going out to bring to a food bank about 500 pounds of greens, garlics, berries, and you name. My car will be loaded down. That little hatchback will be loaded. And I will go in there and I will give that willingly because I'm well off. I'm not super rich, but I've won a little bit of money on the lottery a couple of times and I work hard, right? But I'm going to give and I will know.
Mine here just won 120,000.
Each and every person that I give to on this Thursday, I'm going to take the video camera and you'll see what I give out. I don't take anything back. And the smile and the happiness that to see fresh food. They're getting this garbage given to them that's supposed to go in a landfill. And they see these fresh food from my food forest. We have several now. And we when we go in there, we make people smile, happy. And right. The vibration is that they're getting healthy food to make a good choice, whether they want to go to school, get a job, get an apartment, get a house, save money. You know, this is how it's done. You have to work for it. Nothing's going to be given to you. But when poor people see rich people ripping them off, they don't want to go to work. They want to live underneath a bridge with their money in their pocket. And I don't blame them. But it's this equality. This equality is got to stop. Because
that's what that guy was telling me. He said they just keep pushing us. They just keep pushing us farther and farther away from civilization. And he says, you know what we do? We laugh about it because no matter where they put us, he said, we adapt. He just laughing his head off when he's talking to me, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just how he feels, that no matter where he goes, he can adapt to whatever they give him, you know. This guy was an old guy. He had from the war, you know, and he just didn't. He got a check every month, and he just lived outside. He says, "I don't owe anybody anything," you know.
Good for him. There's no yoke upon him. There's no yoke upon that man, and good for him. He lives free. There's not much free and freedom anymore. You're born, you work all your life, and then you get to retire for a few years if you're lucky.
Yep.
It's not fair. It should be only 10 years to pay for a house. Mandatory. 10
I'm
years.
no YouTube millionaire. Hooples. My friend won the lottery here the other day. He won $120,000.
Yeah, I've won a few dollars myself. I didn't even want. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I just bought the stupid ticket, and I just put it. It wasn't much. It was a little bit.
Yeah, he won 200 and some thousand after taxes. He ended up with 110 or 100.
Yeah, here we get to keep it
100 and
all.
something. Yeah, they take taxes out here.
Not here. Not here. There's a big difference. You look at Mexico, okay? And then you look at, let's say Canada, because I kind of picked on the Yankees a little bit already. You look at Mexico and Canada, okay? What goes on? Well, in Canada, you go to school, you get a job, and you get married if you want it. Then you retire when you're 65. What happens in Mexico? There's no welfare. There's no medical. You work, you put the food in your mouth, and you go back to work. You don't own land. You kicked off the land, all the Yaqui natives and whatever. And some of the Spanish people think that they're Spanish because they speak Spanish. They're actually just native peoples. And they think, okay, well, we own this land and you're going to work it for us. It's slavership. So what you have in this world is not just a protest that's coming. There's civil war coming, boys and girls, and I've already dug my trench all the way around my house. I got my bunker, and you know what? If I don't have to use it, my foxholes, fine. I don't. Great. But if I have to use it, I feel real good. But I believe there's massive civil war coming. Last year, the Department of Homeland Security in the United States spiked my interest when they told everybody to say, hey, you need 6 months food and water and money. Okay, right away, I went and got 500 gallons of water, put in the house in a bottle. And then I tripled the amount of food, dry goods I had. And then I did some other things, but I'm not going to talk about. But anyway, the point being is that there's something coming down the pipe, and it's not going to be friendly to all the poor people or non-combatants. What's going to happen is if you have something and I'm hungry, I'm going to come and take it from you. That's the mentality, because not everybody like these preppers that you and I all know. We've been prepping for this for years. Not everybody has. 99% hasn't.
Yep.
When you go to I'll just say Costco. And when you go to Costco, it's a 4-hour wait to get in there. Okay? Yeah. No mask, you don't get in. You go to Wholesome Foods. No mask, you don't get in. In other words, I was out at McDonald's about 2 weeks ago. I didn't go in there, but there was a guy there yelling at the attendant that they wouldn't sell him any food. And the reason being was because the guy didn't own a car. He was on a bicycle and he had a little house on a bicycle. And the guy's like, no. And he just shut the thing. He wouldn't feed them. And this was at McDonald's. Okay. And I'm like, so I drive through the parking lot, hey. And I say, okay, give me a dozen burgers. And the lady's like, dozen burgers? Yeah, give me a dozen burgers. Come on. So I bought the guy a dozen burgers here. Let's give him a dozen burgers. You know what? That guy was so nice. He was wonderful. He was clean. He had his whole outfit all there. And he used to live with his auntie, but his auntie passed away. And then when they passed away, there was nothing for him. So he didn't have the context or his brain didn't really, he failed to methylate a little bit, I think. So what happened was he ended up homeless. The sweetest guy. He just wanted a burger from McDonald's and they wouldn't even give him that.
Probably had a craving.
Well, come on. He's got nothing. He's got a bicycle, a trailer, and nothing. So he didn't want any money. I said, you want a few dollars? He's like, no. He showed me his wad. He had a big wad of money like that. He said, I just wanted a burger, man. I said, well, there you go. That was it. But it just goes to show how this world is narcissistic.
Yep.
We think the universe revolves around them. Well, it doesn't, man. It doesn't. We're all here. We're all earthlings. We all need to get along. We all need to share. There's no one better than anybody else because you're on a board and you got $1 million house. All my neighbors here, none of them go to work. Okay, none of them, and they all got $1 million home. How the hell does that happen? Because they're all on boards.
Is that yours, Gil?
Yeah. Okay.
Forgotten Forbidden America. Wow, what's this?
This is book 6, and what's interesting in the series, it talks about about exactly a lot about what you're talking about, how those that have of the elitists taking away from everybody else, and it's and basically in it the I'm not going to say which party it is, Democrat. I mean, president and his cabinet and his secret cabinet are talking about, well, all right, we have a real bad food shortage right now, but we have enough to feed the animals. Talking about the normal citizens. And there's so much direct line of connection to what's going on in a certain political party, in their mindset, as what they're being painted in this book is so accurate. It's scary.
I'd like to read that.
Yeah. It's
Write it down, Howie.
yeah, Forgotten Forbidden America by Thomas A. Watson. There's 6. This is book 6. I'm reading. All right, this is good. It's good. Book 7 coming out in several months. It's like, but he has several good series out there. I think he's running like 4 or 5 series of books. He's writing at the same time. So
there's a lot of books out nowadays about all the crap.
Hooples has
their fingers at everybody.
Hooples has a good point there. It's for your safety, sir. At the ATM, he was told off. Hooples made a joke about, there's loads of accidents at the ATM. But, it's common sense. But unless people band together and form their own foundation for the poor, it's never going to change.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, it's never going to change. The richest man in this city has a foundation, and it's just all the money goes there, and his whole crew just milks it. Yeah.
I have enough money in my bank account to pay all my monthly bills. The rest of the money is in my safe.
Good for you. Me too.
And my son and my girlfriend, they don't give it. They go, how come you have all that money in the safe? I said, I'm not giving it to them. When something bad happens in the financial system, that money I have in the bank is going to be gone.
Yep. And you know what? Make sure you got a lot of lower denominations, because if you got high denominations and you go to a store and you go up to the clerk, and this guy was talking about that today. If you got $100 bill, he's like, okay, get back at the end of the line. Next. Because you can't cash that. And now, anybody got lower denominations money? Come on up.
Yeah, I didn't think about that at first, and then I got to talking to a few people, and then I started breaking them down. Now I've got like 5s, 10s, 1s.
That's what you want. And silver.
The other problem with high denominations is if there's a problem going on, and like happened in California with the Loma Prieta earthquake, some of these guys that were, quote, getting prepared and had extra money on and stuff, they had 20s, 50s, and 100s. And they went and stopped at a place to get some water bottles. I don't have any change. I can't make change for you. So they were having to spend $20 to get 4 or 5 water bottles.
Yeah, I heard something about that. But I also have some silver dollars, some silver $5. I got some silver and gold put away too. So
silver's attainable, gold's not.
Gold's gonna be garbage, but I've got.
Well, it's just not attainable for anybody. It's $1,700 an ounce. Now, silver is. Silver for the common guy can put a bit of silver away.
Yeah, so I got more silver than I got gold for sure.
Yeah.
What about uranium?
No, you're
gonna have the FBI over at your house, pal, and there's gonna be guys without ID. There'll be guys with black masks and little mini guns going, okay, did you get it out of Chad? Did you get your yellow cake from there? And then you got to answer quickly.
Gold will buy you a new wife, Howie.
I like my life, but I'll tell you what, I sure feel bad for some of the folks I help all winter long, knowing that someone that sits at home and never goes to work gets the money that was supposed to go to them. That breaks my heart. I've told people off right at my neighbors in my community that do that. I tell them, how do you sleep at night? How do you sleep? You know, you're taking the money from a baby and a poor person. How the hell do you sleep? I couldn't sleep. But then again, I've got a conscience.
Yeah.
These people don't.
Yeah, I got some silver, and I've only been collecting my silver for a few years, so
nice.
I don't think I'm rich on it, but I have some.
I got a couple of buckets.
Hey guys, I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta get up really early in the morning tomorrow.
It was fun, Gil.
Oh, it's 9 o'clock. We all got to get out of here.
Yeah, all the best. Nice seeing you, Hooples.
Yeah, it was great talking with you, Hooples. Thanks for coming by.
All
right, guys. Night. Good seeing you all. Pretty good session. See you guys on, let's see, Saturday, this Friday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. I'll see you day after tomorrow. Good night.